Looking to take your financial knowledge to the next level? You're in the right place. Welcome to Ask Ralph, offering accounting, technical, and financial advice. Whether you're looking to save taxes or improve your business, he's got you covered. Here's your host of Ask Ralph, Ralph Eastup Jr.
Hello and welcome back to the Ask Ralph Show as we continue on our trek of 54 ways to save money. We're in our 6th session of this. If you missed any of it, go back to our podcast or go back to our website and get those and take a listen to those. There's some very good information on there. While I'm talking about that, our whole podcast series, there's probably about 150 podcasts out there. They're only about 7 or 8 minutes in duration, so there's something you can listen to when you're on the way to work or going between or just looking for something to listen to. And I definitely encourage you to do that. And listen, when you listen to them, give me feedback. You can email me at ralph@askralph.com or go to the go to the Ask Ralph website and just leave a comment for me. I'd like to hear, is this information helpful to you? And if there's topics that you would like us to cover, mention those there. So today we're going to talk about food savings tips and health savings tips. So again, not all of these pertain to everybody, but there are ways to sort of look for ways to save money. So the first thing here, and again, we're talking on the americasaves.org website. This is a not-for-profit organization led by the Consumer Federation of America, where they're seeking to motivate, encourage, and support low to moderate income households to save money, reduce debt, and build wealth. And that's what we're all about here at the Ask Ralph Show. How can we improve your financial life? And, we've talked about credit, we've talked about a lot of different things, but now we're really focusing on savings. So food savings tips. Number one, and this is a huge area for savings, and that is brown bag your lunch. And I do this every day. I'm fortunate enough that my wife takes very good care of me. She's a stay-at-home mom. She raises our children. And one of the things she does that really makes me, indebted to her forever is she packs my lunch every day. And that saves us a ton of money. The reason you hear this tip so much is that it works. If buying a lunch at work costs $5, but making a lunch only costs $2.50, then in a year, you can put aside a lot of money towards going to that emergency fund and still have money left over. And the truth is, you're going to eat healthier too. Now listen, I'm not one to talk about health. I've always struggled with my weight, but the truth of the matter is financially, this is the best thing to do. And you're probably going to eat better food, and you can plan it out ahead of time. One of the other things you can do, and we find ourselves in the same, and I think most American families are doing this now. You're eating out more. You're eating on the go. So one of the things you can do is commit to eating out one fewer time each month. Now that might sound like much, but let's say you're a family of 4, and every time you go out, it's like $50 or $60. Well, that's $50 or $60 that you can save in 10 months. You've got that $500 emergency savings fund. Save money without sacrificing your lifestyle by taking small steps to reduce your dining budget. Start off with reducing the amount you eat out by just one time per month. Another great idea, and my wife is wonderful about this, and that is plan your meals in advance and stick to a list while grocery shopping. Now, we actually use one of the big, I just say at Walmart, where we actually do our grocery shopping online and we go to the store and pick it up. The benefit to doing that is you really stick to your list, and the stores hate this because the stores are there so that when you come in the door, they put the stuff you really want all the way in the back so that you've got to make your trek through, and they know you're going to grab other stuff. But by planning your meals in advance and sticking to your list while grocery shopping, you will spend less, and the annual savings could be hundreds of dollars. While you're there, now let's say you decide to go into the store. Watch out for the store tricks and games. One of the ways they do this is shop by unit price. Many grocery stores list a cost per unit of each item, such as the price per ounce or pound. Use these stickers when comparison shopping for the same product, just in a different size. Now, I noticed this in ice cream. Now, I'm not supposed to eat ice cream anymore, but I eat it occasionally. But you'll see that the size of the ice cream has been reduced. But yet, still in that case, you'll find others that are still that true half gallon. Stick to water. Now, I'm not telling you to go on a bread and water diet only, but the truth of the matter is when you're eating out, it's standard in the restaurant industry to mark up the cost of alcohol by 3 to 5 times. So an easy way to cut on your restaurant spending without changing your habits too drastically is to skip the beverages, alcohol and non-alcoholic alike. I don't know if you've noticed this, but even if you're buying, sodas or, those type of things or juices, you look at what they charge you for that. That's because they know you're going to get a refill. So whereas, let's say you go to McDonald's and you get $1, any size soda, you go out to eat one somewhere else, it might be as much as $3 or $4 for that drink because they know you're going to refill. But if you ask for water, then you're not going to cost you as much. And if you're cooking at home, save time and money by doubling the recipe. Create that second meal, that freezer left over for another day. So that's some areas that we talk about food. Now, in health savings tips, one of the things you might want to do here is don't skimp on preventive care. Make sure you're getting your routine dental checkups. Those are things that are going to cost you money down the road. If you're one of these folks that's on prescription medicine, go generic. One of the things that we do with our physician is we actually talk to her about the cost of any prescriptions when we're right in her office, and we take a look at that. And she's really good about that. And I did a session with her before. It's a whole concierge doctor approach. You can go back and listen to that when you get a chance. It's well primary care. But the other thing that we do with her is we have this thing called the GoodRx app. And I'm telling you, you can save hundreds of dollars per month if you're on a lot of prescriptions. You got a comparison shop. So for example, let's say that I had a sinus infection. Well, I can go right onto that GoodRx and let's say I'm sitting in a doctor's office and she says, okay, Ralph, well, you've got a sinus infection. So I want to give you an antibiotic. So I'll say to her, okay, well, what antibiotic do you want to give me? And she'll say, well, let's see what this one is. Okay, well, this one is, okay, this is not a generic one. So, it's $55. And then she'll say, okay, well, how about this is the same thing, but it's generic. Well, this one's only $10. Wow, that's a huge savings with the same efficacy. Now, and then people argue, well, the generic's not the same. I'm not a physician. I'm not a lab person. I don't know whether it is or not, but I like to save money. And the other thing you can do is purchase store brand over-the-counter medications. In most cases, when you go into the store, they'll have the name brand and then they'll have the store brand. If you look at the actual ingredients, and like I said, I'm not a physician. I'm not giving you medical advice, but generally 20 to 40% less than nationally advertised brands, but they're the exact same formula. And you can even do this between pharmacies. There are certain pharmacies which are expensive and others that are less expensive. One of the things that our doctor always pushes towards Walmart, and I'm not going to sit here and talk about how great Walmart is. That's a decision you have to make. But if you can save money in this area of health, do it. And that could be something as simple as, deciding to do mail order for your prescription, especially the ones that are routine prescriptions you get all the time. You can save money by going from, rather than getting a 30-day supply, but a 90-day supply. The other thing that I learned personally is ask the pharmacist about coupons that they don't advertise. I was being put on a medication and it was something new to me. And the pharmacy called and said, hey, Ralph, we're getting ready to fill this for you, but I want you to know this is, $700 to fill this prescription. I said, wow, that's expensive. And then the pharmacist said to me, she said, hey, Ralph, do you have a coupon for this? I said, no, I don't. She goes, well, you know what? Let me see. The manufacturers have a coupon. Let me add that coupon code. Well, that $700 prescription all of a sudden was $70. $700 to $70. And I said to her, well, how do people know? Well, you just have to ask. So go to the website, go to GoodRx, look at it, talk to other people, Facebook, and ask people what they're doing to save money in health. Now, the final session of our savings tips is coming up, so don't miss that in our next session where we talk about home savings and transportation savings.
You've been listening to Ask Ralph, brought to you by Saggio Accounting Plus. Please subscribe to and rate our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a rating and review. Our podcast is produced by Carolyn Peters. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Ask Ralph Media. You can also hear me each week on 1450 WILM and on 1410 WDOV in Delaware and on the iHeartRadio app. Submit your questions or ideas for future shows by sending an email to AskRalph@AskRalph.com.
The information contained in this episode of Ask Ralph is based on data available as of the date of its release. Saggio Accounting Plus and Ask Ralph Media Inc. is under no obligation to update this content if changes occur. Applying this information to your specific situation requires careful consideration of all facts and circumstances, and any information provided is not to be considered as financial, tax, or legal advice. Please consult your tax advisor or attorney before acting on any material covered.